Welcome everybody to another edition of the In the Paint Show, episode 189. I'm here with my regular co-host Chelsea Hopkins, Ani Umana. We've been off for a little while. We're glad to be back. We've been all over the country at the end of the grassroots season, and obviously we've been watching the Olympics. So how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. Had a long, busy month of grassroots in July. So just happy to, breathe a little bit, decompress, watch the Olympics. So it's been a good week for me so far. What about you, Ani?
Oh, it's been good. Been a lot of traveling. I'm just glad to have some downtime. It's been like 2 weeks of some downtime. Now I got to kick it back up. I'm kind of missing flights and stuff. I'm kind of getting that itch again, but it's all good. I got some downtime, so I'm good. How about you, Ronnie?
Oh, I'm good. Like you said, a little bit of downtime. I guess the end of the Olympics kind of, for me, is the beginning of the school year. So, your kids get back in school. It's kind of like a brand new year. And we, a lot to look forward to. Obviously, a lot has happened. I mean, a lot has happened since we've done the podcast. We appreciate you guys listening, tuning in. We'll be off and on. We're going to try to do a little bit more. But like I said, we were busy. And, we had a lot of responsibilities. But, yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy month and a half or so. Besides limits, like we had like a presidential candidate get shot at, and it's like nobody even talks about it no more. It's just whoa, So I mean, we had our sitting president, drop out of the race. Now the Democratic Party has a new candidate, and we haven't gotten even to the Democratic National Convention yet. So it's just been a crazy 2 months. I just, what do you guys think about how quickly the news is just recycling itself? And we know it's been like that in the world of sports, but it's just like so fast. I just remember as a young kid, Reagan getting shot or some moment like that. It just seemed like it lasted forever. Now it's just like we have so much new news every other week. It's insane.
You talk about every other day. You know what I mean? Like Trump getting shot at, like assassination attempt, like that looks like it was 5 months ago. There's just been so much going on a daily, bi-daily just frequency. So yeah, it's just crazy just how much news comes out. Chelsea, we were talking about it. You mentioned it before the show, like, okay, the women's, they won by 1, the USA, but like no one's gonna remember it. Like people are gonna forget about that like in a week. People are like, oh yeah, they did win. What was it, by like 15? Like people are gonna forget. Things go by so fast now.
Wow. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the Olympics and our defining moments and just some of the Olympics games. And I'm looking forward to, I think all three of us are a little bit like 228 is going to be here on home soil. So what does that mean? And we're kind of looking forward. I know we'd probably like to go, check it out. And we're going to talk about what that might look like and go from there. But from now, starting from the top, I wanted to tell you guys who are, three people or three kids. Chelsea, could be related to the Nike Skills Academy. Like we have to look forward to for this year. 224, 225. As the school year comes back, kids go back to school. Who do we have to look forward to basketball wise for this school year?
Yeah, for sure. Well, just in case some of our viewers don't know, Nike Skills Academy was last week. It is a skills camp with about 30 girls, 30 boys, half of them from college, half of them from high school. So about 60 kids in total, 30 girls, 30 boys, and basically just a week of high skill workouts, a little bit of getting up and down and just kind of, intermingling the high school, some of the young stars in high school with some established collegiate players. Obviously, I had the opportunity to attend the entire event kind of from start to finish. And, it was a high level couple of days here on the Nike campus. The kids, but in addition to getting just a ton of gear, all kinds of shoes, they just got a ton of knowledge from just greats. We had Jayson Kidd on campus. We had Rasheed Wallace on campus. We had Gary Payton on campus. So these kids are soaking up, kind of information from these vets and, kind of just having a blast. So for me, just starting with the girls, there were 3 players that really stood out. Practices were super competitive and there was a lot of girls who did well. So don't get me wrong, but just when I had a chance to really lock in, I was very, very impressed with Joyce Edwards. She's the #1 recruit headed to South Carolina. She'll be there under Don Staley, and the rich just get richer. This kid is incredible. WNBA body already, WNBA size and strength. I'm sure Dawn is going to get her ready for the moment, and she's going to be there, a couple years down the line. But she's just super talented. The potential is sky high. And I think when you have a frame like that, like she's just ready. You could put her out there with some W girls and she'd be able to hold her own just because she's physically just up there. My favorite point guard in the camp was Georgia Amore. She is a Virginia Tech transfer. So she's using her COVID year, heading to Kentucky, following her coach there who got the new Kentucky job. And just savvy, high IQ point guard, could shoot it, makes the right plays. If you have her on your team, you're just going to be okay because she's not going to make a whole bunch of mistakes. She's going to be one of the toughest players on the court. I thought she was really, really impressive, especially considering I think the guard play was really strong over the week. We had KK Arnold from Connecticut, Jelani Cambridge, young rookie who's going to be going to Ohio State. So I think it was that was where most of the depth was, but I thought she really just stood out in terms of leadership and just kind of controlling what was going on out there. And then last but not least, I want to shout out Tessa Johnson, who also is a South Carolina player, just won a national championship with Dawn. And this kid just keeps getting better. I don't know if you saw her in the championship game, but she was killing. She came, shoot a whole bunch of threes. I think she had like 18 points, like off the bench, like something ridiculous. And the potential is just sky high for her. So those are the three girls that I like the most on the girls' side. And I thought that they were super impressive over the week.
Makes sense. Now is South Carolina like just right now your prohibited favorite to repeat in the NCAAs, or is that too far away? Is there another team that's?
I mean, it's definitely not too far away. Their team is stacked. They only lost 3 girls, and then they reloaded with some high-level transfers, and then obviously the top 5 rookie class. So, I mean, they're going to be right there in the mix. I think one team to watch out for too is a healthy UConn. If they get all their pieces back, I mean, you can't disregard what they can do in the tournament if everybody comes together and is healthy. And then I think last but not least is probably USC. We had Kiki Iriafen at Nike Skills Academy. She was probably the top transfer in the portal, finished at Stanford this past season. When Tara made her announcement to kind of retire, then Kiki decided to find a new home at USC. So, I mean, Kiki Iriafen, Juju Watkins, I mean, that's probably going to be one of the strongest tandems in women's college basketball this year.
Got it. Ani, quick question. Just put you on spot. Is Juju Watkins going to be one of the stars of the 228 Olympics in LA?
Of course.
Think so?
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, it's a long time, but things can happen. So we're going to talk about that.
She'll be what in year 2?
28. She'll be going into the second.
This is a sophomore year, so she has one more year.
She'll be in her second W season.
Yeah.
It's going to be, W happens while Olympics happen. So she'll be in the middle of her second season.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. We're going to talk about that, future Olympic, future what we think is going to happen. But Ani, our guy Sean Abib, who I got a chance to talk to a lot and evaluate at the NBA Players Association camp. His team won the championship. Looked like he was the top performer at the UA Elite 24 over the weekend. Anything else stood out to you for that, or anything else stood out to you grassroots wise in the last couple of weeks?
Grassroots wise, a little down. I mean, I went to Peace Jam and all that, but like indeed, it's like Nate Ament. I think Nate Ament needs to be talked about. About 6'8" wing, plays for that team loaded VA. I think he's one of the best players in the country. He's going to be someone down the road that we look at in a loaded 25 class, arguably maybe the best player in that class. I mean, it's crazy to say that with AJ Dybansta, Cam Boozer, got Darren Peterson, but I think Nate Ament has solidified himself, in my opinion, as like maybe a half tier below those guys, but he's right there. I mean, just someone with his size and be able to dribble, pass, and shoot is very impressive. Darren Peterson, again, I think now it's like, okay, is he better than Cam Boozer? Before always be like an AJ and Cam Boozer situation. Now Darren Peterson has really put himself, I think, right there with them. I think AJ is number 1, but like now you gotta look at it like, okay, is Darren number 2 or is he number 3? someone with that size, his ability to defend. I mean, he had games in 3SSB where he had like 4 block games, 3 steals. He's shooting the basketball. He's athletic. He's a big guard at 6'5". And where he goes to school, he's going to want to put the ball's going to be in his hands. So he has positional size. He has all those next level abilities. So he's someone that's just been very interesting. And AJ Dybansta, I'll talk about him. I know everyone talks about him, but like,
sure,
just his ability, how fluid he is of an athlete, his scoring, how intense he is on the court. There's just so much he brings to the table. I mean, we talk about 228, right? In Olympics, I know we'll get to that. He's somebody that, I mean,
don't discount him.
Yeah, don't discount him. Like I think him, Cooper, Flagg. I think they have
Flagg for sure. Don't discount.
Yeah, they'll definitely have real shots, but I think AJ can be that special. Can be a multi-year all-star guy, potential superstar, someone that's your 1 or 2 guy in a contending team. So yeah, like those are the guys that really stood out to me. I can probably name off a whole lot of them, but we don't have all day for that. Right. Yeah. But I mean, those 3 have just really kind of stood out to me in the past month as far as just, solidifying themselves in a certain tier.
No doubt. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not sure Chelsea agrees with the AJ Dybansta just because the competition is so tough. Like this competition is going to be so tough. You know what I mean? So I'm sure Steve Kerr agrees with you, though, Ani. I was sure Steve Kerr would love to have had Cooper, Flagg, or AJ on this team at the end of the bench. It would have made his job a lot easier.
Well, big wings that can shoot is going to be valuable, especially in the FIBA game. Now, I don't know how he'll handle the physicality. That's a whole different animal. Yeah. But I mean, big wings that can make shots is always going to be valuable. That can switch and play.
And for me, if I'm a coach, I'm like, look, you're the 11th or 12th man. Right. You better defend your butt off, or I'm taking you out. Like, see, this team didn't really have the you can't really. It's hard to do that to a max contract players. You know what I mean? So I just think it was going to be a problem regardless. You know what I mean? Like, and we'll talk about that. I have my own opinions about that, but it still was a great Olympics. Obviously, one of the defining moments was the end. Steph Curry, what he was able to do in the semifinal and the final game against Serbia and France. But yeah, that's I'm with you there, Ani, as far as those guys. Like, they're great players. Now, Chelsea, quick question for you, because it kind of relates to LeBron James. With Boozer, like, is it matter no matter what he's going to do at this level, it's not going to be enough. Like they want 15s, they want 16s, they want 17s. But maybe this guy's better. Like, I mean, he's at this level, he's done almost everything you can to accomplish. But it's like, is it enough?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has an incredible resume, and I think that he is going to be a great NBA player. But I personally think that, I'm really high on the AJ kid. Like, I don't know about him being on the Olympic team, because I feel like we are going to have to really revamp the star power in 2028 if Bron and KD and them aren't playing. So sure. I think it's just going to be difficult. Like, we're going to have to really upgrade the roster. I think Boozer could have a long NBA career and play at the level, that his dad did. I don't know about making the Olympic team, but in terms of a couple-time All-Star, very solidified, player that had a long-time NBA career, that would be my projection for him. When I look at a kid like AJ, I see star power. I think that he is a prototypical NBA wing that's long and athletic, that'll dunk on you and do everything that, basically he's the prototypical wing that, these GMs and coaches are looking for. So, they play different positions. And I just see a different trajectory from AJ, or at least potentially. Whether he hits that or not, it remains to be seen. And maybe Cameron Boozer will prove me wrong and, far exceed the expectations that I think I have for him. But, we'll see. We really, really missed AJ at Skills Academy. He wasn't here this past week because I think he's with Utah Prep in China, or his high school team or something like that. So, I got the chance to honestly evaluate a couple more kids that I don't really look at as much, because AJ just commands so much presence when he's on the court. Sure. But I really liked Caleb Wilson. He was Cameron Boozer's teammate in Knight Riders, long athletic wing. Again, prototypical, will play in the NBA for a long time. Just has all the tools, and, I definitely see just him, doing well. I really liked Darius Acuff, newly commit Arkansas. I guess he's following Calipari to Arkansas. top PG in the class. He showed me something this week because he was really passing the ball, which is what I feel you need to do when you're a short guard. I'm more used to seeing him on the EYB circuit when he's shooting the ball pretty much every time he gets it. But this time around, like I really got to evaluate him as a playmaker. And in doing that, I thought that he was really good. Like he had a very, very solid week. I think the scouts and stuff were impressed with him, and he just kind of stood out. So those are my two guys from at least Skills Academy. But back to the original question, because I went off on a tangent. Cam Boozer, I think he's going to be fine. He's big, he's strong, but I don't see like star power, player in the NBA personally.
Sure. I don't know if you have anything to follow up with that, but yeah, we've been following Cam. Yeah. I just wanted to see mainly is he getting a fair shake. Shout out to the Night Riders for winning Peach Jam, but I just want to see if he was getting a fair shake.
If you're talking about resume, he's number one. I mean, no one has a resume like Cam Boozer, but I said this in the Field of 68 show. I think he's Carlos Boozer updated. Like I think he is his dad, but the updated 2024 version that will shoot threes. That was face up, strong, physical. I mean, I just think he's a more updated, maybe better version of that. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think he's going to be taking a whole lot of face up mid range jumpers like his dad did. But he's going to step out in the 3 and shoot. He's going to attack. He's going to face up from the mid post and score back to the basket game. Like he's going to show more versatility in his offensive game, in my opinion. But I think he's an updated version of his dad.
So what's his ceiling in the NBA?
Few-time All-Star.
Thank you. Okay, so we agree.
I think 3.
Cool. That's that's gonna make you a lot of money for 7 years.
I think was 2-time All-Star. So
I think
that's what I'm saying. Very solid NBA player. Like I agree with you.
Yeah, his dad had a wow kind of came on the scene because he was from Alaska. That was big then. He'd follow Trajan Langdon. It's like it seemed like he was going to go to Duke. They would always show him behind the Duke bench, like on his visit, or like there's the guy from Alaska, and he played for EBO, which is a big California team at the time, Adidas team. They had a great team with like Deshaun Stevenson and some other guys, and he was well known. So it's very similar, like he was a big name. Maybe not as big as Cam now because of the era we're in, but and he kind of did what he, like you guys said, he kind of had the career that was projected of him, and he did a good job. So shout out to them. That's going to be interesting to see how those guys go. Like you guys mentioned, AJ Dybansta transfers now from Prolific Prep to Utah Prep. There's been a lot of transfers on. We'll get to them in the future shows as we get toward the election, and that election will be probably about a week after we release the Fab 50 for the year. So we'll go run down all of where everybody's at and the new faces on the block, that kind of thing. It's going to be a lot, but that's what we're going to do in the next couple months as we concentrate on 24-25. But we want to go back to Olympics. Just talking about the Olympics itself. I'll start with you, Chelsea. Who were your 3 favorite Olympians and kind of why from 224 in Paris?
I don't know if I can give 3 favorite Olympians, but I can give like my 3 favorite moments.
Okay.
First, I want to say that the Olympics this year were very well done. I don't know like what they've done in the past, but streaming everything on Peacock, I've watched more weird Olympic competitions than I ever have in my entire fencing, diving, all, ping pong, like all kinds of stuff. I think the accessibility just made this Olympics really great because you can also go back on Peacock and watch any game that you missed. Or any event that you missed, that sometimes these things are happening in Paris and it's 2:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning our time, but you're able to go back and watch it. So I think I watched more this year than I ever can possibly remember, and I really enjoyed it. The number one moment for me, my 3 favorite Olympic events or whatever sports is gymnastics, track and field, and basketball. So I really locked in on those 3 things. So the biggest moment for me in gymnastics was just the all Black girls podium. It was from the floor event. It had Simone Biles, who finished with silver, Jordan Childs, who finished with third bronze. And then first was Rebecca from Brazil. And that moment just gave me chills because it's just 3 Black women. They're all on the podium together. It was the first time that this has ever happened in the history of gymnastics for them all to medal. So, that just kind of gave me all the feels, and I thought it was just a super, super special moment. And then obviously Simone is just a goat. Like, there's not like, I don't even know, like,
of the shows.
Yeah, like, you refer to her as like a generational talent. Like, it's like, I think she's beyond that. Like, she is the bar, the level setter. She has multiple, tricks and flips named after her that nobody can do, but she can do. Like, I think it's really just, she just super exceeds like just everything that you can think of when it comes to somebody in their sport. And I think that that's just like incredible. Second, I'm gonna have to go to men's basketball. Seeing LeBron and Steph on the court together, just like, it was an incredible feeling. So many times you have to root for one or the other, and just seeing them play together and chest bump and hug and and just be turned up for the United States. Like, I thought that was like just an awesome moment. And you guys know that LeBron is my guy, and he was MVP. So the moment was even greater for me, just seeing him shine on this stage as a very old man. You see his beard's all gray now, and but he came and he performed, and I thought it was cool that him and Steph got to share the well, I guess kind of share the spotlight, although Steph definitely overtook it in that last game with all those threes that he made.
Sure.
And then last but not least, I'm gonna go with the women's 4x1 100-meter relay.
Okay.
Sha'Carri, a first gold medal for her. We won by a landslide. Gabby Thomas, TT Terry, our strongest runners in there. That was just incredible too. Like, I really love seeing just Black women shine and thrive. And, those are the moments that I'm always going to lock into and feel most excited about. So that's it for me.
Yeah. Those are 3 big moments, and 3 moments that I'm sure a lot of people like because of, you said, the popularity of the content of the sports. Ani, what do you think about either those 3 or your 3? But do you have any comments on those?
Yeah, that's about accurate. Simone Biles, obviously, like, what she did. I mean, like Chelsea, that's generational. I mean, she's number 1 on my list, honestly, what she did. And then, she's walking out the end, she's on the boot. Like, you don't know what she messed up. I mean, she was playing hurt, like injured the whole time, and she still got some gold medals and just some medals, period. Though I forgot the one that was the hurdler, I forgot her name, but then she ran the 4x4.
Yeah.
And Big Laughlin, Sydney.
Yeah, she ran that in a 47.8. So people don't know. I ran track in high school. I hated track. And I ran the 400 and the 4x4, and I absolutely hated it because it was the last 4x4 is the last event of every track meet. So like seeing her run, she ran the 400 in hurdles in like a 49. And then she ran her leg in the 4x4. I think she was maybe the second leg. Yeah, she ran a 47. Like, that's insane. I mean, like that is insane. So she's definitely one of my top Olympians of like during this Paris Olympics. Like, yeah, like that was insane. And I'm biased because I ran the 4x4. Now, I wasn't that great. I was a D2 level 4x4 runner or 400 runner, but I just couldn't do it. But anyways, I would say the third would definitely be is Drew Holiday. Like, and it's weird because it's just the winning. I mean, if you go by it, 221, won NBA championship, won a gold medal. 224, won NBA championship, won a gold medal. I think he's just the epitome of winning. What he does, just the timely shots he makes, the defense, like he just chases all those guards on defense and just gets after it. He was big on all USA runs, especially against Serbia. Just he just did so many of the little things. So, shout out to Drew, because I think what he does is just, it's kind of, people talk about his impact, but they don't realize how much he impacts winning.
Oh yeah.
So you really like look at the advanced stats, or you watch it again. Like, he made some huge plays. The little things he does just is the reason USA won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It obviously the competition is close. France had a good team, so they get the silver. And
and one more.
Serbia gets the gold bronze. I'm over here pausing. Serbia gets the bronze.
And shout out to Rebecca Andrade from Brazil.
Brazilian,
like, did she have like 2 ACL tears and still
4
Like,
ACL
and
tears.
she got a gold medal. Like, yo, like shout out to her. Like
And
that's
she got it on the floor, which is like Simone's like one of her top events.
Yeah, like
so that was huge.
Yeah, so she's up there too. Put her 3B or whatever. I don't like, she's up there. That's crazy. 4 ACL tears, and you're still doing this.
Yeah, that's something to remember because again, like Chelsea said at the top of the show, the moments come and go every 4 years. It's so fast, and like we remember Carrie Strug, who's the gymnast who got hurt, and like her coach carried her off about 20 years ago. People remember her name, But as far as lasting, like for greatness, you're right. Simone Biles is there with Mary Lou Retton, who was the star of the LA Olympics. I remember Mary Lou Retton's a big name, and then Nadia Comaneci, who's kind of like put gymnastics on the map. Maybe 50 Romania, so it might have been the Olympics, Montreal Olympics 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. So she's still kind of a big name. But yeah, Simone Biles will be a big name 40 years from now, 30 years from now. She will be. One of the few. You know what I mean?
I think too, to my point, like I think that we just remember moments than we do more so like stats or like, you know what I mean? Like I can say that, I know exactly what I was doing, exactly where I was when LeBron James and Steph shared that court together and, won this gold medal in 2024. So you remember it, but I'm saying you remember more how it made you feel, what was happening in that moment than necessarily like the stats. Like, am I going to remember, LeBron had however many points, like that kind of stuff.
No doubt. Because like I said, you remember Nadia because she got the perfect 10, which was like the first one, I believe. Mm-hmm. So you're always going to remember that. She kind of put it on the map. Then Mary Lou Retton was so well endorsed. She was so well publicized. 1984 was just well publicized. Like Carl Lewis, it was in LA. It was well done. Mm-hmm. The Olympics made money. I don't know if you guys know this. Most Olympics lose a lot of money. The cities lose money, but LA made money. So maybe they are going to make it again. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Casey Wasserman is kind of like the head of the Olympic Committee to get the games in LA. So we'll see how it goes. So I think we're all going to look forward to, just because we're close to LA, what the politics is going to be or what it's going to be like, what it's going to look like. They're saying there's not going to be any cars. That sounds crazy to me. Who knows? They're not going to be no cars.
Yeah, she don't want cars, Chelsea.
Yeah. There's not going to be no cars involved in getting to the venues. Like, oh my God, I don't know how that's.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we still got some time. So they're trying to clean up the homeless. All this stuff impacts the Olympics. I know there's a big political stuff behind like having the Olympics anywhere. So, I heard Paris had their problems. They definitely had their problems, and in terms of their swimming venues and some countries not really getting treated maybe right, their Olympians. So there's always things to work on. You know what I mean? So we're going to be following all that. I'm with you. I think Chelsea, for the moment of LeBron and Steph, it's because we kind of know they're not going to be on the 2018, and they're kind of at the end of their careers. So, we appreciate it. I think people are appreciating them now because they realize, to Ani's point, like France is coming. And like, we don't really have 3 guys to necessarily lead or replace those 3 guys, including Kevin Durant. So, Ani, is Kevin Durant going to be on the 2018 in your opinion?
Nah, man, that dude retired, bro. Like they all need to be done. Like KD,
he's the only one that probably would, maybe,
but like, why? If I'm KD, LeBron, or Steph, and on that, like, why? But I'm not KD. You know what? If he chooses to do it again, go ahead.
He's a little younger.
Yeah, but why would you do it? And on that note, like. And on that, like that run was fantastic. And on that, because you do these
like behind the scenes, the coach is like, "Yo, KD, we need you to lead." Whoever the coaches be, Spoelstra or whoever it is gonna be like, "Yo, we kind of want you on the team."
We do Adonis Haslam of the team at that point. Like,
okay, yeah, that's funny. That's fair. That's fair. So, for me, it would definitely be. Sydney McLaughlin, Lerone passing it off on the 4x400 to Gabby Thomas. They had such a big lead.
Oh my God.
What people don't know is that Gabby almost misstepped. That handoff wasn't great. She kind of was too far inside because that's not really her event. It's like if they would have DQ'd, that would have been so bad. Like
Yeah.
they didn't DQ, obviously. They did their job, but like Nikki just dominated. She's one of the stars. Simone Biles, I would go with her. Go with her as well. And I want to shout out Quincy Wilson on the 4x400. I reached out. I reached out to Coach Bruce Calley of Bullis High School from Bullis in Maryland. I'm like, Coach, you got to put Quincy on the team. You got to take him on the team, bro. I don't care. He's like, Ronnie, he's a great kid. He can't make my varsity. I was just laughing. He's like, he's not a hooper. I'm like, Coach, you got to put him on the team. Come on. Like he's a gold medalist. Like you have to have one. He was like, he's an awesome kid. He's like, he's not gonna be on the team. I'm like, okay. So I mean, the reason I'm saying that is because he's going back to high school, and that was kind of like one of the viral moments. He's gonna be like a junior in high school there. He's like, yeah, I gotta go back to school in 2 weeks. And everybody's like, bro, you're like an Olympian. Like, forget school, don't whatever people say. Like, bro, just floss. And it was just a funny moment. But yeah, so he ran one of the legs up in the prelims of the 4x4. He struggled a little bit. You could see his strength wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like he's not a grown man. He's 16 years old. He's super fast, but he ran in the 47, and that wasn't going to cut it for the final. So he didn't run in the final, but he gets a medal. But yeah, you're like to Ani's point, he kind of ran the same speed as like Gabby Thomas. So like that wasn't going to cut it. You know what I mean? Like you have to be burning.
Yeah.
And what I didn't understand in the girls for Chelsea, they didn't really talk about it because maybe it's such a close. For the girls 4x100, Jamaica fell out and just stopped, but they didn't say why.
Yeah, there's something that was going on like behind the scenes. Like, we had heard all these reports too, even with Sha'Carri, like didn't get to warm up, was denied entry into the like training, like warm up section. And something weird happened. I don't know, because they definitely were eligible for all of these events that a lot of people didn't run in. It was like a collective, like, we're not going to do it. So on the men's side, Chris Shane, he ran obviously in the 100 and Noah Lyles edged him out barely.
Yeah.
But on the women's side, Jamaica didn't really have a presence this year. And they're our strongest competition.
They fell out a couple events. And,
so
they just didn't finish the race. They started and the announcers go, Jamaica's out, but they didn't I don't know if it was a bad handoff or that they pulled a hamstring, pulled up, or like they just fell off.
Yeah, there's no one knows any information on that.
Because the announcer was a little shocked, like Jamaica's out, but obviously he has to keep up with the leaders, the race, so he can't dwell on it too long. So pretty interesting stuff there. As far as the basketball, let's talk about the basketball. And I have my few comments about that, but obviously it was a great competition. Ani, just on the top, we talk about AJ Dybansta, we talk about making the team, maybe Devin Booker or whoever. Are we going to be able to hold off the Frenchmen in 228 and 232? I mean, are we just going to be able to hold them off?
Yeah, I think we still can. I mean, it was all about roster construction. I mean, you're still going to have Devin Booker. I think Halliburton will be there. I know Tatum's comments. People are like, "Oh, he's not playing. He's going to play in 228." Still got guys like, look, if we get a healthy Zion Williamson, that's going to be impactful. Jaylen Brown, we get Jaylen Brown in.
John Morant.
John Moran or Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Maxey. There's going to be some guys. I mean, my man, shout out to Tobias Bass. He mentioned the kid that's with the Charlotte Hornets.
Melo Ball.
No, Dwayne. Dwayne. The kid that just got
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah.
LaMelo Ball. He is so talented. I would love to see him play. He's just goofy. If he could blow up, he might be
would like to see him play too at Chelsea.
Not LaMelo, but Brandon. Man, the last name is literally drawing a
Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller. Like, can you imagine where he's going to be in 4 years? Like, he had a really good rookie year.
He might have a role on the team, is what you're saying.
Might have a role. Jabari Smith. I mean, there's some young guys we have.
Paulo Banchero.
Paulo Banchero. Like, there's going to be some guys.
We have people.
There's not going to be. There's not going to be. They're not going to be the star. We may not have the star power like a Steph that gives us 12 points in 2 minutes or something like that. But you're going to see better team play. I think you're going to see better ball movement, more sets probably being ran. I think Spoelstra is going to probably be the coach. I think this is Steve Kerr's last time coaching the Olympics. So I think it's going to look different, but you still can hold them off. But when you talk about France, you still got Yabusele, who's going to turn 32. You got the big bruiser. You got Wemby. You got to see how Zach Richardson, how he pans out in 4 years. Alex Sarr, Nolan Trayor. There's a lot of young talent.
Nolan Trayor could be a big piece for them.
Nolan.
Yeah, Frank Ntilikina is still going to be like, he'll be a veteran piece. You'll probably lose Nick Batum, Fournier, and Nando De Colo, but France is going to be tough. France is going to be really tough. Canada's still going to be really good. Now you're going to talk about Zach Edey's going to be on that team. Zach Edey in FIBA is going to be a beast. Zach Edey may win Rookie of the Year this year. So imagine in FIBA where he doesn't have to go out of the paint. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then obviously the basket interference rules are non-existent. So I think he's going to be really good there. So I say Canada and France is our biggest oppositions, but Team USA has the talent. It's just the way we play. Got to change. And then another note, I do think we got to do something about, we just get these guys, they practice for a couple weeks and we play, right?
I've been talking about that a lot.
You're going against teams that are playing together for years, practicing together for months, really kind of forming a level of chemistry. Talk about the women's French team. Like Gabby Williams didn't play because she was playing in France to be with her teammates. We got to find a way for these guys to be playing with each other, in the off season or practicing and stuff, because that's what the other countries are doing. They're closing the gap because they're talented. Don't get twisted.
Chemistry.
But the chemistry is through the roof. We don't have that. That's why you see our games in men's like 13 turnover games, 15 turnover games. Even women's, you see they had a high turnover count because they're just kind of coming together and playing. While these girls know exactly where everyone is, at every moment. So I think that will limit the turnovers because a lot of teams are staying with us because we have high turnover counts or being sloppy with it. But I think that leads to just not really practicing with each other. 3 weeks and hey, let's go beat the world. We're talented enough to do it, but not every 4 years we're going to be able to do that.
That's fair. Chelsea, do you feel the same way, or do you just think it's, hey, we got to step it up and hey, we only have a little limited time. We got to come together, and the construction has to be good.
Yeah, I totally agree with Ani, and I was actually arguing with somebody about the USA's just lack of preparation. Like people were, ragging on Steve Kerr, and hey, I'm not here to say Steve Kerr was just doing an awesome job, but I was just trying to explain the difficulty in getting a team with so much star power, having to establish roles, very little practice, and just going out there and playing against some very, very talented, countries. So I agree with Ani. Our preparation in comparison to what these other countries are doing is very slim. I don't really know how to fix it though, because if the Olympics are in July and NBA ends in June, it's difficult. And then WNBA is in season and they're basically just, taking a little break to be able to allow, the girls to play. Like, I don't really know how we can fix that considering the way our leagues are set up. And I made the same comment too about 3-on-3 because people were ragging on 3-on-3 basketball. Well, 3-on-3 this is the second time they've been an Olympic event. Secondly, the way that 3-on-3 operates is you have to do all these little qualifiers to even be eligible to be in the Olympics. So our NBA guys will never be in it because they're never going to be able to go play here during their 82 game season when all of the events are in the fall, winter, and spring. So it's like we can't be in that. And on the women's side, we're able to throw some girls in there every now and then, but still just the timing of some of this stuff, like it's never going to favor us. And that's where I think that we might get caught up in, the 2028 Olympics, because the talent level is definitely, or the talent gap has definitely shrunken. We're still, superior. And that's what gets us over the hump, like in these games. But, these other countries are coming and they also have the preparation, like Ani said, and just the time with each other. And, that could be scary if we don't come with, Steph, KD, and Bron, next year.
We're not. Yeah.
We are. So that's what I'm saying. It's scary to think about, but I do think that we have, loads and loads of talent, and it's just about who's going to coach the team and putting the pieces together. I would love to see John Morant. I would love to see Zion Williamson. I think we have some people that can, they're not going to carry the weight of, Steph, LeBron, and KD, but we have some people that can make it very fun and very exciting.
Yeah.
And I think Go ahead, Ronnie.
Go ahead, Ani. Go ahead.
No. I think 3-on-3 is not built for.
Yeah.
They don't want USA to win. I think. Yeah. I like they don't want USA to win. They're doing that for a reason. Like they don't want us to win. That's fine.
And I don't think we care if we win.
Yeah, we don't care. Truly, like
it's not a big deal. Some events, it's like, kind of like China wins a lot of medals. We don't even know which events they're in.
They're in all the precision events, diving, ping pong, things that are very technical and not necessarily athletic.
Cool. It doesn't matter.
Athletic, but you know what I mean. It's not built off of power and strength. It's built off of how skilled and technical you can be in that moment.
To me, 3-on-3 is not a big deal. If we don't win, we win. That's what I'm saying. That would be a great opportunity for the Cameron Boozers, AJ Dybanstas, in my opinion. Hey guys, go try. Try with that. Maybe you win, maybe you don't. That might blow them up. I think there's a lot of problems. I just think there should be a tryout process, and then maybe Steve Kerr would say, you know what, Jayson Tatum's not going to fit in this team. Like you would solve that problem before. Now maybe that's not for the max, because you can't have 10 max contract guys because you have a max contract mindset. So you need some role players. You need a few more guys like Drew Holiday. And then it was seen to ease those problems up. I would just think there should be a tryout process. And then if there's a tryout process, then somebody like Cooper Flagg might emerge. Like, wow, he's pretty good. Let's carry him as the 12th guy. And like, he's not going to complain. He's going to be like Tyrese Halliburton on steroids. Like, oh, this is awesome.
Right.
And it's to Chelsea's point too about Caitlin Clark over the last few months. We've been saying like she has a built up resume. So like the guys get to the NBA and they're not built up because they're only playing like basically one college season. Well, if we have a chance to build up some of these young guys, it would be much better. Like they would be marketed and promoted better instead of what are we talking about? Jayson Tatum on the bench being unhappy. I don't think we need that. Like it didn't help the team. It didn't hurt necessarily, but it didn't help. But like you said, if we go into 228 and Zion Williamson is goofing around and not in shape, cut him. Like that kind of thing. Like I just think it would make the roster a little bit more cohesive, to your point, and then it would give guys opportunities to actually make the team, and then they would be a little bit more, I think, a little bit more locked in, and then it would give guys who got cut or guys like Cooper Flagg who may be like, wow, look how good he's doing. It would be like great evaluation on it. And I say that because like our guy, Frank Burleson, he went to a lot of the 84 tryouts and he was like, it was some of the best basketball I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Even the guys who got cut, it was like, they were really trying really hard. They wanted it. They wanted to be on the team and some great players got cut. So I just think it would be better all around, to your point, Chelsea. Now, then I don't know how we would execute it necessarily. That would have to be mapped out, like because of the end of the NBA finals, or maybe we start every 4 years, we start the NBA season a little earlier. So they end a little quicker, something like that. There could be a way to be that it could be done.
Yeah.
So I just think it would be a lot better than having Jayson Tatum. Whoa, why is he not playing? Oh, he's only playing garbage. And oh, he's only getting AAU minutes. Oh, his mom is an AAU mom. Like, we don't need that. You know what I mean? We just, especially as you said, the teams are getting stronger.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. As far as on the women's side, Chelsea, let's talk about the women's side. It was closer than obviously a one possession game for down at the end. Is it the same thing as far as the men's? Like, do we have the right roster construction? I know the W season stops. Are the countries as close to us, closer than the men's? Where are we at with USA dominating 8 straight gold medals?
I mean, it's 8 straight. We're still, I think the gap is much bigger between USA women and some of these other countries. I think we ran up against a very talented team in France that has WNBA players and chemistry and all the things that Ani talked about. And quite frankly, that was the worst and ugliest game we played. Like, period. Yeah. The game was ugly. The calls were ugly. Gabby Williams was absolutely incredible on the other side. If you have WNBA talent, then you can match some of the WNBA talent that you're playing against with the entire USA team. So it was fine. Like, They won. They did what they were supposed to do. Obviously, I think a lot of these people are going to age out. You're speaking about how we're going to have a new look team in 2028. We're going to have a new look team on the girls' side. We have a lot of young, talented, rookie players in this class. We have some coming up, and Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins. I would like to see a good combination of vets and just younger players. I think that we need to get one glaring thing that stood out to me, which is how we started most of the games. We weren't really great at the point of attack defense. The athleticism there wasn't really great. And I think that we just need to have some younger legs out there, especially in the guard spot. But I think, they did what they were supposed to do. And a lot of people are saying, well, this person should have played in this. I'm not into that, especially with the Jayson Tatum dialogue too, about, because it takes away from something special that happened. Right. And I'm not saying, because we need to circle back to Jayson Tatum, he should have played. Like, I don't want, to say that he should.
We'll go back to that. We'll go back to that.
But some of these, like, don't take away from what these ladies have done and talk about who should have, would have, or shouldn't be on the team. Like, we're supposed to just support who's out there. And a lot of these up and coming young girls will 100% have their opportunity for years and years to come. So, I think that the roster will definitely be shaken up and reconstructed in 2028. It has to. Some of these women are just old and we need to just get younger. But, I'm proud of what they were able to accomplish. And ultimately, both teams got the job done. I've been hearing so much criticism about Steve Kerr and Jayson Tatum and Caitlin Clark and this and this and this. And it's just like, we won. Like, we won. We slapped these teams together in 3 weeks, Ani, and we won on both sides. Right. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah, I think it's silly. You just got people that aren't about us winning. It's about, creating a narrative or creating conflict. I mean, as much as we enjoy, look at Tatum. Okay, well, let's go back to Tatum.
Yeah, let's go to Tatum, because that's we haven't touched on that much.
Tatum didn't play very well. Mm-hmm. Not saying he was probably the most confident on the floor, or maybe he didn't really understand his role, or maybe the role he was playing on that team, it didn't really make sense to him. I don't know what it was, but he didn't play well. He didn't play well offensively. And who's to say, okay, throw Caitlin Clark out there. Caitlin Clark throws a lot of turnovers now. Like, that was a very physical game, right? That women's French, that was a very physical game, just like the men's side. That was a very physical game. Caitlin Clark may or may not have been ready for that. Yes, you look at her shooting, maybe she could have got some open shots because the women did not make a lot of threes, but she would have struggled with that level of physicality against WNBA level players in a more condensed court, and just everything. Like, it's a different game. Mm-hmm. And I think, okay, yes, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are talented enough to play in it, but who says that they're going to be themselves in that level of game? I mean, it's one thing to say it when you're just watching on TV. Then you see some of these stars playing that game and they're playing completely different. Mm-hmm. In front, like in Paris against France with that crowd, you got to be special. And I think, like, let's talk about how good Aja Wilson was. I know she missed some layups and stuff, but like, she was really freaking good. Women, there were women that made clutch shots, that made big plays. Cleo Copper, she made big plays. Like, dog, let's talk about them. They did that on the road, gold medal game against France.
Environment, everything.
Yeah, like, just naming a player that could play in that environment when we have a very low sample size of them doing that. I mean, yes, there's packed out arenas when Caitlin Clark plays, but she ain't played in my opinion. No, that level of pressure is different. Mm-hmm. That level of pressure is different. Playing for your country, playing in France against France in a gold medal game. No one can tell me, oh, this person should have played this or that. Like, you don't know how they would have played. And I think the only way you could even say that is unless you played the high level games like that.
Yeah.
But I want to give a shout out to the ones that make, like, Kelsey Plum made big threes. Sabrina made big shots in that third quarter. So, like, I mean, let's talk about those people instead of who should have been on the team.
Should have been on the team. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you said, it's put together real quickly. And I don't know. I guess we talk about Jayson Tatum a little bit, but Chelsea's on on the side of he should have played more. Ani, you're saying he didn't play good at times, and I'm saying maybe you had a trial process. Maybe he wouldn't be on the team. Not that he's not good enough to be on the team, but maybe they say, hey, you know what? We need to carry an Alex Caruso or somebody that's just coming off the bench defending. That's what we need in that spot. We don't need a NBA first team all-star who's not going to embrace the 9th or 10th man role. That would be my point.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You remember Jaylen Brown felt like he didn't make the team because of he's with Adidas, right? So if you don't have Tatum on there, then people will say Tatum should have been on there. But they're like it.
Well, then if you try to say I cut him, you got to have some balls. We cut him. He didn't fit.
Yeah.
He didn't fit. Charles Barkley and John Stockton got cut. He didn't fit the team. The team was Jordan and Ewing. And, so again, we go back to the dream team. They stopped the trial process, and that's what we have. Like you said, so in 2 weeks, we got to put it together, and that gap is just closing. Like, I mean, I don't know. Again, for the 92 dream team, I watched it all close. It was big news. All the games were like exhibition games. They had an exhibition game feel. U.S. was so much better. It was just like, wow, Michael Jordan. It was nothing like this. Like where France is going to be ready to kick some ass in 228. Like it was nothing like that. It was like exhibition style games. So to your point, like we have to be on point. We need to have good chemistry all the time. Now maybe we get away with it. We again, are we going? I don't think we're going to have somebody as good as Steph shooting the ball in 228. So we better have pretty good chemistry, low turnover count, a couple role player here and there. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So again, I don't know, Chelsea, go ahead and say what you wanted to say about Tatum or the chemistry. But yeah, I just don't think to Ani's point, you're kind of damn it you do, damn it you don't. But so what? It made it worse when Steve Kerr had to start making excuses. Well, it just made it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's difficult.
He's not playing well. I don't want him to play.
Period. Yeah, and you're not wrong about that. Like he definitely wasn't playing well. Obviously, it hurt him to the core to have a DNP, and he felt a way about it. I just, from the standpoint of what I know Tatum can do, I just feel like he should have got opportunities. Like I don't think that there's any instance where he shouldn't play at all. He gets out there and he's stinking it up. Then it's like, okay, Halliburton, I get it. He's young, he's, kind of just the next wave the next wave of NBA guys for the 2028 Olympic team. So you have him on the roster. But I just feel like it is disheartening when you just come off an NBA championship and, first team all NBA and you're a talent like Jayson Tatum. I think he just needed to get the opportunity. With that being said, I think Devin Booker was the unsung hero of this team. He played absolutely incredible. He fit in with any rotation in any lineup. He made the little bit of shots that he got. He was guarding like crazy. I've never seen Devin Booker guard like that. I'm being totally honest. I view him differently now that I watch those games because I used to just think of him as a shoot ball every single time kind of guy. And I was very impressed with how he came in and, took control of the role that was given to him. And I think that's the math problem that took Jayson Tatum out of the equation. The fact that Devin Booker was just playing so good and Jayson Tatum was getting minutes and spurts and, and wasn't really capitalizing off of them like that. So maybe you can say, like his confidence or whatever. But the truth of the matter is this is a small window. We don't have time to build confidence. If Jayson Tatum could be great, if he's not getting it done, then he's got to go sit down. So I don't think that Steve Kerr was totally wrong for the decisions that he made. I just feel like a guy like that needs to get in the game. And what he does out there will determine if he's going to stay in the game. There's only a few people that can not do well in the game. Steph in his first couple games and stay out there. Bron and stay out there. He's turning the ball over. There's only a couple people that have that luxury. They already established the pecking order on that team, whether people want to believe it or not.
Sure. Ani, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have any DNPs, but I do get it. You look at it like, I understand from Kerr's perspective, Derek White already plays that role, for the Celtics. So just placing him in to play that role is easier, or Jrue Holiday. I understand that, but yeah, Tatum should never have a DNP. That's wild. That is wild. Like he can defend. He didn't make shots, but he's very capable of making shots.
Long, athletic.
Yeah, like He shouldn't have no DNPs. He's going to play in 28, I feel like, but it is kind of wild to say like the man that was probably maybe 5th in NBA voting this past season.
All NBA voting, yeah.
Didn't had DNPs in the Olympics because you felt like he couldn't defend and make shots. He couldn't play like a role. But and then you go back. Then the last Olympics he had like 18-point games and stuff. Like, didn't he have good offensive outings?
You talking about Olympics or World Cup?
Was he
playing World Cup? I think it was World Cup.
It was World Cup.
FIBA World Championship or FIBA World Cup?
Yeah, World Championship, not World Cup.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I mean, come on, like, come on, dog. Like,
he's gonna play in 2028. There'll be a new coach. He'll play. It'll be fine. Hopefully, we forget about it, and it'll be fine.
The Celtics are not going to forget about it, which is good for the NBA.
Right.
Create a little bit of intensity there, or some kind of Golden State Celtics kind of like rivalry. So that's not bad.
Rivalry. Boston's gonna beat the hell out of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Golden State is done.
I think that's to Chelsea's point. Like, Golden State is like, we know that's one of Steph's final moments of greatness kind of thing. But I think that's why, Chelsea, to your point, and maybe you can expand on this a little bit. Like, you saw some of the Cavaliers Warriors finals, like, how big was that moment, and like, how does it compare to some of the great NBA final games you've been to, watching that game, the championship games?
I mean, that moment was tremendous. Like, I've been to many of my family has season tickets with the Warriors, so I've been to many of their games for the last 8 years. The finals, high intensity games, and just the atmosphere there. I think that like the Steph and the LeBron fans spend so much time like not hating each other, but just like you can't like both of them at the same time. So to see them on the court together and just playing well, and I think that you can't help but root for that and be excited about that, whether you like LeBron or like Steph. Like this was one of the great moments that we're going to remember of this era, because this is the end of an era with Bron and Steph and them on their way out. So I think that it was the perfect way to cap it off, to just see those guys come together and finish the job and win gold. So I wasn't, obviously I wasn't physically there at the Olympics, and I was physically at a lot of the games in the finals when the Warriors and Cavs were matching up, but I still had the same feeling, just super excited and, just happy. And I'm just really happy for Bron, because you guys know how I feel about LeBron. And he's old and he's still making an impact and doing what he does. And it just makes me feel really good to just, I thought that I was surprised that he, played as well as he did. Like, I know he's smart enough to do that, but he's just older and it's hard. But in spurts, he just looks like Bron. Like, I'm coming down the lane, I'm going to punch on you. He's making behind the back passes and getting quicker. So it made me excited to see him play well, because I really felt like he might potentially, I don't want to say be a weak link, but I didn't think he was going to get up for these games like he did.
He did. He did. So as we come to closing, Chelsea, let's do the men and then we'll finish with the women. Ani, who is the 3 players that have to be on 228 to get the gold medal? Who has to be on the team?
Devin Booker. Mm-hmm. Devin Booker, Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The third. Ooh. You know what? I think Chet Holmgren.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You're gonna need someone that big that can shoot and block like that. The offensive basket interference, that not being around, like I think Chet's going to eat off of that. Like, quick leaper, finisher around the rim and stuff. He's going to be stronger, can stretch out and shoot. I think he's going to be a real impact player. I know it's very physical, but he's going to block a lot of shots. He's going to dunk a lot of shots. He's going to finish a lot of plays, and he's going to make threes. I'm saying those 3, and I think Bam's going to be there. He's going to be a good piece. I think Brandon Miller's going to be a dude. So I think I really think he's going to be. Yeah, shout out to Byers. Like, yo, when he said, I was like, because I'm high on Brandon Miller. I've been high on him since high school. So like, I think, but those 3, Chet, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, I think are going to be our 3 must-haves just for FIBA play.
Yeah, okay. I agree. I agree with Devin Booker and Anthony Davis. And I think Chet's going to have his opportunities because, he's a good player. I want us to be I want to say somebody who's not on the roster. I think that Anthony Edwards obviously is a person that needs to be there too, as he's a young, trending star in the league. But just with our guard play, I just want a dynamic playmaker. I really think Ja Morant can come in and help this team. I really am going to say a name that everybody hates, and I don't know why, but Trae Young, he would thrive out there. He would thrive out there. Just open court, making plays. He's one of the best playmakers, whether people want to admit it or not. And I think it would be better for him because there's going to be smaller guards that he has a better chance of defending than he does in the NBA. That's the knock on him, that he can't guard and he's too little, right? So good. Let's go to international play where there's more guards his size. I know y'all saw that picture of Wemby playing against, I don't know if it was Japan or China, but the guy was 5'6", guarding him. Okay, good. Put Trae Young on him and let's ride. Okay, I know that's everybody's not going to be that small, but I'm saying I really think that I want a dynamic guard in the mix. So Ja Morant, Trae Young, I would love to see one of those two guys get an opportunity, and I think they would do really good with the obvious pieces that Ani named that are going to be on the team: Anthony Davis, Bam, Booker, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, definitely Anthony Edwards. Ja Morant, obviously it won't be a talent issue. That's the other stuff. He's
gonna figure it out.
Yeah, if he figures it out, yeah, he's a no-brainer. But I like Trae Young because we're gonna need spacing. We're gonna need shot making
and passing.
Yeah, if he's making shots and making plays, I think he'll be fine defensively just because there's no defensive 3-second violation type stuff. So you're going to have rim protection. The courts are smaller, 3-point line smaller. It's shorter. So, yeah, I like Trae Young. I think Trae Young could be really, really good for it.
Do you think he'll get a chance? Honestly.
We'll see how these next 3 years are, honestly. I think it's going to be dependent on just kind of what's coming up these upcoming years. But I think he will. I think he should. We're going to need that level of spacing. We're losing that with Steph. He ain't Steph Curry, but we're going to need a dynamic shot maker. So, we got to figure out who that's going to be, especially someone that can shoot 30 feet out.
Wow. Yeah. So we got some work to do. But we got the talent. I do want to say before we switch over to the girls and close it out is that we still have a big talent gap. Every time USA gets on a fast break, they're scoring 98 out of 100 times. Yeah. When the other teams have a 3-on-2, they might score 50% of the time. We get back, we stop them, we gap it well enough. We have a huge talent advantage just in transition. Now in half court, some of these teams are good. You're tough. Maybe they're more ingrained into the FIBA rules. All that is I get, but when the other team misses a shot, we're money. We're getting a good shot on the other end.
Right.
I don't know if it's the stride length, just the athleticism, the open court, but we're still light years ahead. Yeah. And again, now maybe France with Wemby, how is Wemby going to be in 228 on? He's going to be like, holy shit, that guy's going to be super. He's good now, So it's just that. And I want to say, I just think he cares. I don't know what it is about France. They care, just the way they line up for the national anthem. They're crying. They really want it. They really wanted it. When I saw Serbia, I just saw jokers like, yeah, coach, give me my bronze. I want to go hang out and have a beer. Again, I'm just joking. Joker cares as well too, but it's just France really cares. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can just see it in their whole way they carry themselves. So we got some work to do. Chelsea, on the women's side.
Yeah, on the women's side.
Before you answer,
okay.
I think you might have already answered. I want to make sure I have your answer. AR and Caden Clark shouldn't have been on this team. It was a big deal, right? Everybody's going ape shit about it. Not a big deal. Okay.
No, they should not have been on this team. But they will. I need them on the team in 2028 for sure. Caitlin's going to be ready by then. And I know people think that she's ready now, but I think Ani hit the nail on the head with just some physicality and some things. Let the girl go through the process. And she's an exceptional player. She's going to be stronger. She's going to be used to the physicality. And she's going to be a key piece for us in 2028. That's a no-brainer. The team is still going to feature Asia Wilson. She'll be 32 at the time. She's still going to be doing the Asia Wilson thing. She's going to be unanimous MVP this year. And right now, it's just Asia's moment. She's got a couple, more years of being just in her prime and just super dynamic. So I think she's still going to be one of the faces of the team. I think Nafisa Collier from Minnesota is also going to still be featured on the team. Brianna Stewart will be a little bit older, but if she wants to play, she can, of course. And when I look at young people, I like Rickea Jackson. Rickea Jackson, big, strong, physical guard, rookie from the LA Sparks. I want to see a player like her on the team. Nobody mentions her, but I think she is made for moments like this. She'll be able to handle the physicality. She'll be 4 years into the league. Or going on her 5th year into the league, and she's going to be ready. So if I need Caitlin Clark there, I would love to see Angel Reese there because we definitely could have used her in rebounding in some of these instances. And I think that her offensive game is going to be significantly more developed 4 years from now. So I think that she'll be an excellent piece. Caitlin's going to be there. Rickea is going to be there if it was up to me. And we have a lot of young talent that is going to have an opportunity and be available to play. But for me, I like a mixture of young and old. And I saw USA Today already did their team for who they thought is going to be on it. And too many young players. We can't have that many. Sorry. It's got to be a good balance of, it's got to be a good balance. Like they had half of the team was like third year players or younger. And I just feel like, no, you need a good combination of both to really get the job done. Because as we discussed, the talent gap is shrinking, and it's going to take talent, but it's also going to take experience. So that's my answer.
Great. And to wrap up, like the W season starts again in a few days. Does that change anything? Does this gap change or like in previous season, it hasn't changed the trajectory of the season as much?
I don't know if it changes much. It is weird having like a 1 month break, like in the middle of the season, because obviously only a handful of girls were actually playing. I know the team started practicing again, I think a week ago. So they have been practicing, but I don't think it really changes much. This is the way that the league has, kind of operated in an Olympic year. I think. I think it's just going to be a matter of just finding that rhythm, that conditioning, and that, and that chemistry again that a lot of teams were kind of picking up on, when they left off. Like Indiana specifically was rolling. The Aces were kind of finding a little bit of a groove. So, it'll be interesting to see. Like I'm very interested to see with my hometown team, how Chelsea Gray, she didn't look very healthy to me. She wasn't bad, but she didn't look healthy. So it's just like, how is it going to, I'm, they're my favorite if everybody's healthy. So I don't really know, how they're going to look in the second half and, just a lot of just wear and tear on the body. Like it's hard when you're recovering from an injury. So I'm excited to see what happens. Chicago, Indy, neck and neck at the bottom for those last playoff spots. So it's going to be a dogfight these next, I think, 16 games to solidify who's going to be in the WNBA playoffs.
Wow. So it's going to go pretty fast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to episode 189. Appreciate everybody tuning in and appreciate Ani's and Chelsea's insight. Went fast. It's just kind of like the Olympics. It goes faster here and there. So we'll come back in a couple weeks and talk about it. But we're going to build up toward a little bit more grassroots stuff, some camps. Ani, quick thing. What do you got going on in the fall? I know you have either like a fall league or an exposure league, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be at Dame Lillard's camp this week. Then I got like a players league, like almost like a Pango setup for 3 weeks in Dallas. So I'll have some of the top guys in the city. It'll be really fun, like a lot of national media and stuff. So I'm excited about that, hosting that. So wanted to do something a little different. Everyone always has like a fall league with teams and stuff. Our camps on the weekend. So I'm like, we're going to do something during the week, Wednesday night. So let's come and hoop and, we'll get after it. So the Players League, that'll be at Dunkville Fieldhouse. So excited about that. Do a lot of traveling. I think I'm going to go to Virginia because I think Wooten is having there's another camp going on.
Another camp.
So I'll be out there before the month, before August ends too. So, I'm back to travel. I'm actually excited about it. I took these 2 weeks off, so let's get to it.
Yeah, we're going to get to it. We're going to cover it, and we'll be back with you guys, give you guys updates on the Grassroots season. So until then, we're out of here for episode 189.